Things have stalled for Enzo Maresca in recent games where we have been unable to find a victory in our 4 last games. Now we're going to play in the FA Cup against the League 2 side in Morecambe, who is currently sitting in relegation zone. And this will be a perfect opportunity now, where we can look to play ourselves into form again. Even if we would see a heavily rotated side, this should and must be a victory. It should be pretty comfortable because we just have more quality even if we rotate the side. Hitting form is going to be crucial if we want to reach the target top 4, which is the goal within the fan base, no matter what Maresca or the board says. And I think as I said, it's a perfect opportunity now and get back into winning ways. Last time we now won FA Cup was all the way back in the 17-18 season under Antonio Conte. Time flies, it's a long time ago, and I think it's about time we try to change that now. Like every year, we're going to aim to win everything we can, and since we haven't won FA Cup in so long time, since we got knocked out in the Carabao Cup by Newcastle, I think it's time we trying to show some resilience and taking revenge and trying to go all the way in the FA Cup this year and hopefully win it. I mean, last year we got knocked out by Manchester City. We came pretty close. If we would have won that game, we would have faced United in the final, and anything could have happened. So in terms of a few talking points from the press conference, I just want to touch upon the team news. And Maresca confirmed and explained that Anselmino is not ready to feature. He needs to settle down in England, in London, with the teammates, new environment and all this kind of stuff. And Maresca is trying to managing the situation by not putting too much pressure on him, since he just came from Argentina, from Boca Juniors. I think Maresca is managing this really well, and there's no reason to rush him yet. Fofana, Badiashile is still out, we know that, and apparently Kieran Dewsbury-Hall as well. I don't really understand what type of injury he has, but he seems to be out. Wesley Fofana now said on or posted on social media that he is not out for 3 to 4 months and for the rest of the season. He says he will be back in 4 to 6 weeks. So he's saying something different compared to what Maresca confirmed. Maresca confirmed that the medical team has said otherwise, that Wesley will likely be out 3 to 4 months. And that means he might be back when it's just a few games left, which is basically the rest of the season. So who speaks the truth? I feel like Fofana, he maybe feels the stress of getting back, and he doesn't want his place in the squad to fizzle out. He doesn't want us to buy maybe a new defender that's gonna take his spot in the team, which I kind of understand. And Fofana is unfortunate, but his body is completely breaking down, and this is like the 3rd season in a row he's out for a large portion of the season. So he is injury prone, and rushing back, I don't think it's gonna help him. I think he needs to take the time, and if he's ready, then we ease him back slowly again. You can also understand that Maresca is not going to risk playing players because the January transfer window is open, and he's gonna look to the board is holding the power here, I believe, and telling him not to play certain players, so they're not getting injured, because we're looking to offload a couple of guys. And it's going to be Carney Chukwuemeka. If he's gonna go to Strasbourg or get sold, we don't know. Chilwell we're trying to find a move for Chilwell. Casadei has interest from Torino in Italy, and Kieran Dewsbury-Hall is someone we're already looking to offload after a half year. Is he heading to another Premier League club. We have to wait and see. Overall, I think we just handled the situation really bad, with many players banned them during the preseason. Wise we couldn't offload some of them, including Ben Chilwell. Overall, handled is really poor. And from top to bottom, I look at the board first of all. I think they are making a lot of these decisions behind the scenes. And just behold, really weird situation. Like, I thought he was going to be Maresca's guy, and he knows the system inside and out. So how come he's already going to be offloaded? Absolutely crazy, and that tells me the squad planning has simply not been good enough. Now, Maresca could also come with some positive updates, actually. And we know that James and Lavia has slowly been back, but they could actually get some minutes against Morecambe. And I think it's a brilliant opportunity for them to ease them back in and feature and get a feel for the game again against a Leicester opposition. Let's get then into my preferred and predict the lineup ahead of the game. I would like to go with a very attacking setup. Since we're facing a League 2 side, we should go very offensive and overwhelm them in the final third. We're gonna dominate a lot of possession, and I feel like they won't get that many opportunities. I want to be bold here, and we also need to give players some game time that necessarily doesn't get it, and we need to save our important players in Palmer, Caicedo, Enzo. They need to be full rested for the Premier League. So we have Jorgen sending goal. I feel like Maresca is gonna start him there, and I think he deserves it. In the back line, I would like it to consist of Renato Veiga on the left hand side. We're gonna have Reece James on the right hand side, so both these will be fullbacks. Now, who is going to invert? Both can actually invert into the midfield and in the back line, which makes us become pretty fluid and flexible. Achampong and Disasi will be my centre back pairing. I can't wait to see more of our youngster Achampong. Now, I feel like Disasi is gonna play better if he's utilized in the middle of makeshift back three and not being that wide centre back defending in wide areas. I don't feel he has the athleticism, agility and pace to do so. I will have Lavia being in the lone pivot, but in possession we can have Veiga inverting, we can have James inverting, we can have our offensive 10s dropping down and receiving a pass. I mean, for most part of the game, I expect us to heavily dominate possession in the opponent's final third, and we should be able to play through their press. And Lavia might be put in maybe an awkward situation defending alone, but if our front four is really aggressive in the press and winning back the ball, we're gonna prevent Morecambe from even entering their own half. So the press need to be aggressive and spot on. My front five, so to say, will consist of Madueke on the right hand side. He hasn't played for a while. Let's give him minutes. I think Neto has claimed the first spot now on the right hand side in Premier League. Tyreek George, I would like to see him on the left hand side. There's no reason why we should risk Jadon Sancho here. It's better to give minutes to Tyreek George. See what he will do. Hopefully he can score a goal against Morecambe. In our offensive 10/8 roles, we going very attacky with John Felix and Christopher and Kunku. If they're not getting minutes now against Morecambe, I don't know when they're gonna get minutes. And Kunku could be heading out the door, but we don't know if PSG, maybe Bayern München, will go in for him. I think it's just so sad and unfortunate that he can't start more games in Premier League, because for me personally, he is an elite attacker that will add you so many goals and assists. That leaves us with the striker up front, who's going to be Mark Yu in my opinion. I think he has been brilliant in Conference League, adding a hat-trick, a couple of goals. Let him get some minutes in the FA Cup and rest Nico Jackson. I know, very offensive, but in game it could look like this, where James and Veiga is inverting and we attacking in a 2 3-5. So João Felix and Kunko got protection behind. Lavia got protection next to him. Also, like us, as you see in the picture, I tried to explain that these circles I put here, I want us to find more passes here behind the backline, whether if it's the winger making the run here or our half space players, and make more cutback passes and low driven crosses. I'm very tired of us playing these high floated and spamming those crosses inside the box, because we don't really have players that is good in the air. Now we can find players on the far post that could just make a volley or sort of tap it in and steer it into the net, but it's very difficult. So I would rather us see focusing on these half space roles and making that cutback pass, and then we're having players attacking the box and coming on the blind side. I would also love to see some youngster getting opportunity in the second half, like Raksaki, Dyer, Morecambe, if they're gonna be a part of the matchday squad. And I forgot to touch upon this. After like 45 minutes, I would like to bring out Lavia and James. I don't want them to play more than that. I want to ease them slowly back in, because every time we rush player back, they're getting injured after just a few weeks. So Morecambe, I can't really tell you much about them. They are apparently called the Shrimps. Very interesting nickname. Look very weak offensively. They haven't scored many goals at all this season. So they should be a sign we should beat. You never know, we could turn up to be Charity FC. That's what we typically do sometimes. I'm gonna predict we won't keep a clean sheet, and my score prediction will be that we're gonna win 5-1. We should be able to destroy Morecambe completely, especially at Stamford Bridge. So if you're then brand new here, make sure to like this video, subscribe to my page, hit that notification bell so you never miss when the content drops. And CFCexplained is out.